Now then, welcome to the channel and Croeso I Cymru. We're in Wales for a change, and the plan today is to do Tryfan. We parked in Capel, and it's a bit of an extended route to do Tryfan, but hopefully a quieter route. We're going to go over some unpronounceable tops on the way there, then up the South Ridge, then retrace our steps onto the Heather Terrace, and then back along the valley from the Heather Terrace. So let's have a quick look at the route. So we branched off the main track back there that goes to Ogwen Reservoir, and we're now on this sometimes faint, sometimes boggy path that weaves and undulates its way up this first hillside. Glorious. I wasn't expecting it to be this nice. It's a bit warm. Nobody else around. I was surprised at the car park back there as well. We were late setting off this one. We're camping at Warm 4. And after the miserable day we had yesterday, chucked it down for 7 hours. Fortunately, I managed to get the tent up before the worst of it started. Well, this morning I thought, oh no, what's today going to bring? Anyway, we're out and it's decent. I think it's the only decent day of the week, really. So yeah, that car park as we were driving here, which we went the wrong way to start with as well. And all car parks and laybys and everything, they were all rammed as we were driving past. I'm thinking, oh no, we're not going to be able to get parked. Just about empty. That one back there, so that was good. Oh, right, so we'll continue to the top of whatever this is called. Right upwards. So the gradient's eased off a bit now. Oh, it's got a bit breezy there, and that's looking over to the Snowdonia range. Now I'll just put you on the camera and I'll show you what our intention was for tomorrow, but I don't think we're going to end up doing it because the forecast is just for clag all day long. So the initial intention was to come up from the other side of that ridge in the middle, I can't remember what it's called, then up to Snowdonia, then I don't know, can't remember which way we were coming down. Anyway, I've just had a nightmare as well. Blooming battery on gimbal's about to run out, so I don't know what the filming will be like for the rest of the way around. Anyway, down here for us. So that's it. The gimbal has died. I don't know why that's happened. It was fully charged before we set off. Mind you, I did send a previous one back because the battery life was just rubbish. So I'll have to charge it up again and see how long it lasts. No, I'm not happy with that. So I'm just going to have to do everything handheld now. Ah dear. So there'll be no fancy shots. I'll be a bit wobbly. The wind's got up and it's a bog fest. But on we plod. So as you can see, we're going to leave the bog fest and the gradient is going to get steep again. Ah, lovely. Go on, off you go. So I just stopped other side of this stile for coffee and a chew. I've just noticed there's a couple of people coming up behind us down there. It's getting really windy now though, and spin you around and have a look. That's where we're going, and I think this is up to the top of our first mountain of the day. Can't remember what it's called, and if I did I probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it. I'll probably put it on screen when we get up to the top. Right, up we go. So you can see in front of us Tryfan, which is our goal for today, and the summit of the first hill or mountain, whatever that I intended to do, was back up there. I can't be bothered with that. We've got to go up there. Oh, right, looks interesting, and I think you can make out Heather Terrace, which is going to be our return route. So we're heading on up here. I'm not sure if we actually go to the top. I think we might need to get around the crags and then into the col that sort of drops down here, and then up the south ridge, which from what I've seen, read and heard, Charlie should be okay with the south ridge. Right, so onwards. So we've made it to the top of one of our intended mountains, the name of which I'll put up there. And there's where we're off next, Tryfan. And it's getting a bit breezy and a bit chilly now actually. So we make our way over to this col here, and then up the south ridge of Tryfan, and then down Heather Terrace. I don't know if you can make it out on there. It runs diagonally down from about there. Right, so up this way. I don't know if you can make out on here. You can see Crib Goch just there, just with a bit of sunshine on it, if you can call it sunshine. Somewhere you'll never ever find me. Right, on we go. So we're dropping down here now onto, I believe, what's called the Miners Track. That's a great view down the valley there, isn't it? I'm sorry about this, it's rubbish now, my gimbal's packed in, isn't it? That's where we're going. Before that, we drop down here into that col. Right, down we go. we've arrived at the col at the bottom of Tryfan. Oh, and before we start our climb up there, we're going to have some lunch. Oh, I'm about running on empty now. Right, so lunchtime before we set off up there. So we're at the base of the final ascent of Tryfan now up there, and it's a bit showery at the moment as well. So rocks could be a bit slippy maybe, but right, we'll see if we can get our way up there. So you can just see behind me there, where is it? There? I don't know. That stile, that leads onto the Heather Terrace, and that's our return route. We carry on up there. Alright, up we go. So that's Tryfan done. Adam and Eve, you can see behind us there. Went up there, Charlie had his photo taken. I didn't jump them. For one thing, it's far too windy. And for another thing, I'm a coward. Right, so that was a bit scrambly coming up there. I didn't do any filming at all. It was a bit iffy in places. Had to lift Charlie up a couple of times. So we've just got a small matter of getting back down to that stile where we branch off onto Heather Terrace, and it was this last section here, so from there to the top, that was the worst. So yeah, we'll get down there, and I might stop for another coffee once we get down there and get sheltered to the side of the wall. Right, so down we go. Oh, so we've just crossed over that stile and we're just dropping down now onto Heather Terrace. Oh, and I tell you what, that was tough. Especially after a 4 mile walking or whatever it was. Especially on the bouldery bits, you kind of pick your own route. We came down a slightly different way to what we went up, and actually I thought that was a bit of a better route that way. Right, so we're going to drop down onto Heather Terrace. So we're heading down Heather Terrace. I've not been doing much filming at all. This isn't the delightful little path that the name suggests. It's rocky and loose, and I've been concentrating on where I've been putting my feet rather than filming. It's a stunning view looking down the valley, isn't it? And once we drop down there, then we've got to, I think we've got something like a 4 mile trudge right along the valley back to the car. Right, onwards down here. So we're dropping down off Heather Terrace. We've just come down that gully there, which if you're coming along Heather Terrace, that's easily missed. And we've deviated slightly off our planned route to pick up this footpath. It was pretty much a pitched path most of the way down there. So, oh, Heather Terrace doesn't live up to its delightful name. It was a bit of a nightmare, was that. And Tryfan, that's a scrambly slog up and down as well. So yeah, I'll be glad to get down there. And we've still got about 3.5 mile slog back along valley, back to the car. Oh, I'll be glad to get back to the tent. And the beer in the fridge, I know that. Right, downwards. Oh, well, we're back on our intended path, and that's where we've been, up Tryfan. Oh, what a slog it's been. And I tell you what, it's nice to be on the level. Pretty much ever since we left the car park, we've been going either up or down. Yeah. I don't know how much bliss it'll be though, because we've got just under 3.5 miles of it to do. Oh, I wish I was back at the car. Right, on we trudge. So while we're trudging along here, I'll tell you why I've done Tryfan. And I've left it to the end to tell you, because if I've told you at the beginning, the shock horror of it, you've turned off straight away. So I'm not expecting to see many viewers at the end. So, back in my younger days, and don't hate me for this, I was a bit of a train spotter. So it's out there now. Well, back when British Rail were transitioning from steam to diesel, one of the early types of diesel locomotive became known as the Class 44. The Peaks. There was 10 of them, and they were all named after hills and mountains in England and Wales. I see this one here, 44010, was called Tryfan. And as you can see from this table here, me being a nerdy list keeper, it's the last one of the peaks that I had to do. So that is why I've done Tryfan today. Right, that's my subs down to about 0. Right, on we plod. So while we're trudging along here, and the fact that there's nobody going to be watching now neither, I might as well sign off. What sort of a day have we had? Well, Tryfan, it's a scramble. Charlie had a bit of difficulty in a couple of places. Yeah, it's done, innit? It's ticked off. Heather Terrace, nightmare path. This whole route as a way of getting up Tryfan, don't bother. It's long. It's gonna be over 10 miles by the time we get back. Say Heather Terrace was a nightmare. This, the restricted byway, is this. It's going to turn out to be a slog. We've still got a couple of miles to go on it. The tops before we get to Tryfan was a bog fest. Not much going for it really, is there? So yeah, I'm sure by the time I get back to the car, or more so back to the tent, I'll be ready for that beer. So it's been quiet. Around Tryfan itself there was a few people back there, campsites and whatever. And been alright, hasn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do the usual, the liking, subscribing, ringing that notification bell, commenting, sharing. And if you're seeing this, I've managed to cobble something together since my gimbal died. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Tra!